Sometimes, in the quiet moments of life, our thoughts become a whispering thief that steals away our peace. The mind is like a lake stirred by the wind, with waves of worries and memories rising and falling, never allowing us to truly settle. We replay stories from the past, exhaust ourselves imagining the future, and constantly analyze everything happening around us. If you are tired of the heaviness sitting inside your chest and long to find a bit of stillness within, then you are exactly where you need to be. The wisdom of the Buddha gently reminds us that the mind can be healed. With just a little relaxation and a little awareness, you can begin the journey back to the calmness that has always lived within you. Today, we will open 6 doors that lead to a more peaceful and centered heart. Let each teaching be like a soft breeze, soothing your soul and guiding you back to the serenity that you have always deserved to experience. 1. The past is gone. The future has not yet arrived. Only the present moment is real. One of the biggest reasons we overthink is that our mind often gets trapped in 2 places we can never truly reach. One place is the past, filled with things we believe could have been better if only we had acted differently. It may be a mistake we regret, a hurtful word we wish we had not said, or an opportunity that slipped away. We replay those moments again and again, blaming ourselves and wishing we had been stronger. Then there are moments when the future turns into a frightening black box. The mind imagines the worst possible scenarios. What if that happens? What if I fail? What if others judge me? These assumptions weigh heavily on the heart and fuel endless anxiety. But the Buddha taught that the past no longer exists and the future has not yet arrived. We only truly live in this very moment. He once said, "Do not dwell in the past, and do not dream of the future." Focus your mind on the present moment, because life only unfolds here. There is a gentle story full of meaning. A Zen master and his young disciple were crossing a river. The strong current made the disciple anxious. He looked at the water and imagined himself being swept away. Meanwhile, the master simply walked forward with steady steps. When they reached the other side, the master smiled and asked, "Why are you afraid of something that has not even happened? You are standing firmly on the ground right now." This story reminds us that when the mind runs back to the past or leaps ahead to the future, we unintentionally miss the real life blooming right in front of us. Now place your hand over your heart and take a deep breath. Feel the beat that is happening in this very instant. Call the present moment by its name. I am here. I am alive. Every passing moment is a precious gift, because it is the only thing we truly have. Only when we return to the present can we rediscover the peace that has been waiting for us all along. 2. Thoughts are like passing clouds. Let them drift away. When we begin to understand that only the present moment is real life, we also discover another important truth. Our thoughts are not who we truly are. They are just clouds drifting across the sky of our consciousness. Sometimes they are light and soft, but other times they are dark and heavy. What exhausts us is not the appearance of these thoughts, but the way we cling to them, or believe they are absolute truth. The Buddha taught us to observe the mind as if we are standing on the bank of a flowing river. You see the thoughts coming and going, yet you do not have to hold on to them or judge them. When a sad memory or a moment of embarrassment appears, instead of blaming yourself, simply acknowledge it by saying, "I am having a sad thought." Once you name it with gentleness, the thought begins to lose its weight. Imagine you are sitting beside a river. The water moves steadily forward, and fallen leaves drift past on the surface. You watch them float by, and you certainly do not reach out to grab each one. You understand naturally that the leaves are meant to move on. Your thoughts are the same. They appear and they disappear. They do not need to be held, and they do not define your worth. Whenever the mind becomes noisy, try this practice. Pause for a moment. Label the emotion you are feeling. It may be worry, fear, sadness, or disappointment. By naming it, you are looking at it from the outside instead of letting it control you from within. Then, whisper in your mind, "Thank you for showing up. Now I allow you to drift away." Visualize it floating gently down the river. Freedom lies in this simple acceptance. You do not need to win over negative thoughts. You only need to let them go, because you are not your thoughts. You are the one who is watching them from the quiet and peaceful place deep within your soul. 3. Suffering comes from our reactions. Let go of what you cannot control. Once we learn to observe our thoughts and let them pass, we begin to see a deeper truth. Suffering does not come from what happens to us, but from how we respond to it. We often cling tightly to our desires, our expectations, and the belief that everything must unfold exactly as we wish. But life has its own way of moving forward, and when things do not go our way, the mind begins to resist reality. That is the moment when pain arises. The Buddha taught that pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. When we cling to what does not belong to us, we create chains within our own hearts. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh shared a simple yet wise story. There was a person trying to push a heavy boulder up a hill. He used all his strength, sweating and feeling deeply frustrated, yet the boulder remained unmoved. The master saw him and asked, gently but with awakening insight, "Why are you trying to push a boulder you already know will not move? Let go, and you will see the path appear before you." This story reflects the things we hold on to in our minds, things far beyond our ability to change, yet we keep trying to control them, and that effort itself drains us of energy. Whenever your mind becomes chaotic, pause and ask yourself, is this something I can control? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and allow yourself to let it go. Not because you are weak or giving up, but because you are choosing peace over battles that bring no meaning. Letting go is the act of opening the door to freedom from invisible chains, and in that moment true liberation begins. 4. Mindfulness and the breath bring peace to the mind. When we learn to let go of what does not belong to us, another door gently opens. It is the ability to guide the mind back to the safest place it can rest, which is the breath. In every inhale and exhale, there is a powerful source of healing. The breath is always happening, yet we rarely pay attention to it, because the mind is often wandering through stories of the past, or pulled toward worries about the future. The Buddha taught that when the mind is calm, the breath will be calm, and when the breath is calm, the mind returns to peace. The breath and the mind are connected as two close companions. When one becomes unstable, the other trembles along with it. Therefore, if you want to soothe the mind, begin by soothing the breath. Right now, you can try a simple practice. It only takes a few seconds, yet the effect can be surprising. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Inhale deeply and feel your chest expand. Hold it for a gentle moment, then slowly exhale. Repeat this 3 times. With each breath, you are sending a message to yourself saying, "I am here, I am alive, and everything is all right." When you focus on your breath, there is no room left for stressful thoughts to enter. In that moment, you are truly living. Peace does not come from changing your external circumstances, but from turning inward and embracing your breath. Each breath is an opportunity to begin again, and you are free to begin as many times as you need. 5. Simplicity is peace. Do not burden yourself with what is unnecessary. In modern life, it is easy to get swept away by the belief that having more means living better. We feel we must achieve more success, earn more money, buy more beautiful things, or gain more approval from others. We accumulate too many things not only in our homes, but also in our minds. Every expectation and every desire that is added makes the heart heavier. Often, it is not life that is too complicated, but we who make it complicated for ourselves. Buddhism teaches that happiness does not come from having a lot, but from the ability to feel content. The Zen concept of shibumi speaks of the beauty of simplicity. When everything is simplified, what truly matters will naturally reveal itself. Simplicity is not about lacking. Simplicity is choosing to keep only what brings peace. Take a moment to look into your own heart. How many of the worries you carry are truly necessary? How many thoughts could be put down to make space for ease and lightness? Sometimes having less is the beginning of feeling full again. Now try a small practice that can shift the balance inside your mind. Take a piece of paper or open a note on your phone and write down the 3 things that matter most to you at this moment. It could be family, health, love, or a quiet dream you hold close. When you read that list again, you will notice that everything else is just extra weight you have been carrying. Simplify your thoughts, simplify your life, simplify your heart. Each thing you release is a step closer to peace. When we stop running after everything, we finally catch up with ourselves. And sometimes, by merely pausing for a moment, we realize that happiness has always been right here. 6. Impermanence is liberation. Nothing lasts forever, not even your suffering. When we learn to simplify life and put down what no longer serves us, we begin to see another essential truth in the Buddha's teachings. It is impermanence. Nothing exists forever. Everything changes. Happiness changes, and suffering changes even more quickly. The greatest fear in the human heart is the fear that we will be stuck in a negative emotion forever. We believe that this sadness, this failure, or this pain will follow us for the rest of our lives. But that is only an illusion created by the mind. The Buddha taught that everything will eventually pass. What makes us smile and what brings us tears are both temporary guests in our lives. When we understand the law of impermanence, we stop resisting life and we stop confusing ourselves with our suffering. Today's rain does not mean tomorrow will not be sunny. If you cry today, it does not mean your heart will forget how to smile. Think of an old sorrow you once believed you would never overcome. Now when you look back, you see how far it has faded. That alone proves that every emotion becomes lighter over time. You have overcome before, and you will overcome again. Whenever your mind starts to magnify worries, place your hand gently over your heart and remind yourself that this feeling will pass. You do not need to fix everything right away or force yourself to be okay instantly. Just remember that change is certain and gentleness is already on its way to you. Suffering is not your destiny. It only visits to help you appreciate the days of peace. When we embrace impermanence, we no longer fear the ups and downs of life, because the one thing that truly lasts is our ability to heal and to love from deep within the heart. Now, when you look back at the journey we have just gone through together, you may realize that peace has never really left you. It was only hidden behind layers of thoughts and worries piled up inside your heart. The 6 teachings of the Buddha are like 6 gentle lamps guiding us back home to ourselves. Living fully in the present moment so the past and the future no longer control us. Watching our thoughts like passing clouds so the mind no longer struggles in sorrow. Letting go of what we cannot control so the heart becomes lighter. Returning to the breath to rediscover the stillness that already exists within. Simplifying life to see that happiness comes from what is essential, not what is excessive. And finally, trusting in impermanence to understand that no pain lasts forever. You deserve to live a life much lighter than the one you have been carrying, and you already have the ability to begin that life from this very moment. If today's message touched your heart and brought you a sense of calm, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss the next videos. You can also share your reflections or your mindfulness practice in the comments below. Let us spread these seeds of peace to many more people. May you always find calm in every breath and serenity in every moment of your life.